Once upon a time, in a sea far away, the ship caught in a heavy storm. The passengers on board tried their best to survive, but unfortunately, the ship got destroyed and all the passengers, except one man, were drowned in the sea. This man, by the grace of God, somehow managed to survive and found himself washed up on the shore of a desolate island. When he regained consciousness, he was overcome with a sense of loneliness and despair. He immediately prayed to God, pleading for help, but days passed by and no one came to his rescue. He began to lose hope and accepted his fate of being stranded on the deserted island. He spent his nights sleeping on the beach, and during the day, he tried to find ways to survive. One day, he built himself a small hut using the materials he found from the broken ship. He collected coconuts and fish to eat, and he managed to survive in this desolate place. One night, he lit a fire to cook his food and went to collect some more supplies. When he returned, he saw that his hut was on fire. He was devastated, and he couldn't believe that his only shelter was now gone. Frustrated and angry, he raised his head toward the sky and complained to God about his situation. He complained to God about how he had asked for help, but no help came. He even said that God was cruel for burning his only shelter. He complained all night long, and then he fell asleep on the sea beach. The next morning, he woke up to a loud noise, and when he opened his eyes, he saw a ship had come to the shore. He couldn't believe his eyes and was ecstatic that finally help had come. He got on the ship and it started sailing towards civilization. Once on board, the man asked the captain of the ship how he knew that he was staying on the deserted island. The captain replied that they had seen a fire signal coming from the island, and they had understood that there was someone there. The man was confused because he hadn't sent any fire signal. The captain explained that they had come to the island only after seeing the fire signal, and that's why they were there to rescue him. It was only then that the man remembered his burning hut and realized that it was his burning hut that had acted as a signal for help. He understood that it was God's plan to get him out of the deserted island by putting his hut on fire. He realized that God's plan was bigger than his plan for himself, and he started thanking God for saving him. He understood that sometimes we don't get what we want because God has bigger and better plans for us. We can learn from this story is that we should trust in God's plan and have faith even in difficult times. Sometimes we may not understand why certain things happen in our lives, and we may feel like our prayers are not being answered. But we must have faith and trust that God has a plan for us, and everything happens for a reason. We must remember that God's plan is greater than our own, and that we should remain patient and persevere in our prayers. The story also teaches us that unexpected help may come from unlikely sources, and that we should always be grateful for the blessings we receive. Even when we feel like we are alone and helpless, we must never lose hope and continue to trust in God's plan.